Welcome to another episode of the CarryTrainer Higher Line Podcast.
Welcome to the Higher Line Podcast. This is CarryTrainer.editor bringing you in today. About 4 or 5 months ago, Mickey visited none other than Radian Weapons in Oregon State, makers of some of the finest AR-15 rifles in the world. We made a cool tour video at Radian Weapons. I recommend you check that out. But from that visit, there was about a 30-minute extended conversation with Josh and Josiah that unfortunately fell to the cutting room floor. I had to cut most of that for brevity. This podcast is picking that up for the extended inside view of Radian Weapons. I hope you'll enjoy it. Check it out.
So guys, we're out in, what city are we?
Redmond, Oregon.
Redmond. I just came from Washington and I didn't realize we're in the freaking desert out here, like drenched. Your new facility.
Yep.
You guys came from, you said over there.
Salem, Oregon, yeah.
Salem. And now you're out here to, what, 25,000 square foot facility? Mm-hmm. And so today we're just gonna give you guys a quick tour, not the nuts and bolts, but we're gonna maybe meet some of the people they've got working inside, look at some of the parts that Radian makes, and of course talk to the guys that found the company and run it. Josiah.
Yeah.
Mickey,
Josiah, pleasure.
Josh, the owner, founder, Radian Weapons. You got the shirt on, I like those shirts.
Maybe even tip the camera that way a little bit. Oh.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so we're in your office, which you just cleaned up. But you guys are in the middle of moving.
Technically, yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bust your chops about that.
Really no excuse for a dirty office, but that's fine.
It's pretty fun, like looking around, there's just charging handles all over, and I'm off it. So we were chatting, we were checking out where you're building the new offices, the gym, the conference room, and of course the production area. And we were just kind of, I was commenting on how much you've grown. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we mentioned to people, and we just happened upon this, and maybe we'll get a shot of it, it's still wrapped up. This is the first iteration of your brand, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit about it, and the reason I want to mention it to the viewers is you've been around longer than Radian.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the dealio there?
Oh, well, we just, like we mentioned, it's funny, people would say ATSX, and they couldn't remember Axtis. That was a common one, yeah.
Axtis.
Yeah, so the company was
couldn't
originally
remember.
called AXTS when we got started in 2009, I think, right?
Yep.
And so in 2016, I had started working for the company for a short period of time, and we had hired a new marketing agency out of Utah, and it was a good opportunity to, redo the website and, have packaging that's reflective of the high quality parts that we're making, and kind of give it a cleaner feel and look now that there's more experience in the business world that Josh and I had, and so we decided it'd be a good time to just rebrand from the ground up, since we had a successful product line in the rifle and the charging handles and safeties. Mm-hmm. And so we rebranded to Radian in 2016, and I think overall it's been a real big success because there's just more brand recognition now. People remember Radian.
Yeah.
It's easier for you to know than
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty big for us, and I think that ever since it's only been 3 years, it's been a pretty big growth.
It's amazing how sometimes just like, commenting here from a business owner perspective, little tiny details can have a huge impact. Just like with your machines, one little measurement off and stuff's garbage, and it's the same rifle, different name, and changes things. I just think for guys listening, it might be a good lesson for those chasing a dream or a vision or a goal.
Yeah, I think the philosophy is just to match, a brand and, kind of a marketing perspective to your products that you're selling. If you're selling and advertising that you're selling a great product, you want to do really good at marketing and brand design or packaging design, and have a brand name that reflects well upon, the products that you're making.
Mm-hmm. We were talking out on the floor. We came back in here because the whir of the machines. You made a comment about your bro that is making him happy because of your level of precision that you expect and want is sometimes hard finding people that will do it the way you want it. How do you get around that?
Well, you train people from the ground up is a big part of it. We've found that, that's pretty much the only way to do it. Occasionally you'll find a diamond out there, but most of them are
they got a job
diamonds in the rough.
Business.
Yeah. We found a Swiss guy, a Swiss CNC machinist when we moved to Redmond. That's phenomenal. So.
Oh, cool.
But so we got lucky there. But for the most part, we train people. Train people on the principles of how we want things done, holding tolerances, even logic in how to solve problems on the machines and how to adjust what features based on whether it's work offset, a tool offset, or feature-to-feature measurements all relate to those decisions. And you can adjust things and make a good part, and then it can bite you in the butt on another part that those tools, but some other tools were used and they don't match anymore when you go to run the next job. So there's a lot of thinking that goes into doing things the right way.
Just from an outsider's perspective, it seemed like you got a good vibe here. The guys, everybody was jovial, but seemed to enjoy what they're doing. Even, and I'm not demeaning it, but to be doing assembly line work, that would bore my brain like crazy. Like I'd do it twice and be like, okay, done.
Well, actually, it's true that, a lot of people really like working here, even in an assembly capacity, because they care that much about firearms or 2A issues, and they really like that. And then the other part of it too is we really, like Josh said, try to develop our own talent here. And I think that about 10 out of the 15 people that are running CNC machines today started off in assembly. So
cool.
So we try to promote with them.
So they understand how important everything is.
They hopefully, They had the perspective on one end where they're putting parts that are finished basically together in a final assembly process, and now they're at the origin stage, which is machining raw aluminum part stock into parts.
It's cool. Well, some of the stuff we're not able to share with you guys because it's proprietary and none of your damn business, but it's cool. Little tiny bits and laser beams and juicy liquidy stuff spraying on things. It's neat. Can't share it with you though.
Part of it though too is as far as having a good workforce that enjoys their job is good management, and so I'm not patting myself on the back.
No, I was saying that.
So I'm just saying we try to hire people that we actually like and want to work with, especially as in a management
But you guys
role.
do seem like good dudes. Your employees are coming up to you asking questions. They seem like they enjoy interacting with you. They're not afraid to come talk to you. I haven't seen you guys throwing notebooks or anything yet. So.
No. We have a very regimented HR department that keeps us in line. So.
Do you?
It's his wife. So.
Okay.
But no, it is a great work environment, and I think especially to moving to Redmond. When we moved to Redmond from Salem, we actually only retained about 7 people, I think, and I think of those 7, only about 5 people from Salem are working here in our facility. And right now, I think we're at 43 or 44 employees, and we've built that, here in the community of Redmond, and we've been really lucky with the people that have come to work here. Obviously, there's always turnover in manufacturing, especially assembly, but we've got really lucky. We've got a great crew of people, and everybody that's working here really is bought into wanting to deliver the very best thing to the customer, and I think we've achieved that with the Raptor charging handle line, and we try to do a really good job on our guns, and it really starts with the people. You gotta have people to do everything, and we've been really lucky in that way.
I'm sure everybody here appreciates what I'm about to say, but they're holding lives in their hand. Your gun, if it doesn't go bang in a cop's hand or a soldier's hand or some homeowner defending the homestead, that's something on one's conscience. And for you guys,
for sure.
Stuff doesn't work. It's heavy duty because you sell to law enforcement agencies. There's soldiers carrying them.
Yeah, it's a very it's pretty serious responsibility, especially whenever you get your consumers that are professionals that are relying on that equipment, and we want to create gear that you're really happy with when you go to the range. Because I've been to the range a million times where I've had a piece of equipment that I wasn't very happy with because I didn't shoot very accurately or it broke or whatever. And so even from the perspective of satisfying the consumer market, which is recreational, we just want to always deliver the very best because every part that we send out is really a reflection of our work here. So we're serious about it.
You guys put your money where your mouth is this past year. You guys pronounce it Oregon.
Oregon. Yeah. Not Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon. And think about that. Your state legislator tried to enact some laws, not unlike what goes on in my states, that not only would have impacted your business, but gun owners across the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to speak to that, I mean, Josh and I went to a political rally on a Tuesday morning right after they introduced, it was a Senate bill that was, actually it was a slew of bills, all really bad. Just as a general thing, and speaking for myself and Josh and, from the company, I think, is that, we're, pretty avid supporters of the Second Amendment. We don't support regulation, and we feel like deregulation will make our community safer as well as protect the civil liberties and constitutional rights of Americans. And that's our stance, and I think that we've been really clear in saying that. And so we went to this rally, and it was really bad because there was only like 100 people there. Very serious bills to include high-capacity magazine restrictions, draconian laws, and penalizing gun owners who have their weapons stolen, storage requirements that would make you defenseless, ammunition purchasing requirements that would only let you shoot 20 rounds a month. I mean, you're talking crazy stuff. And so Josh decided that, he wanted to try to help out, and so we organized a political rally on a Saturday last March. And we put a lot of work into it, and the 4 people that are working in the office here basically organized the entire event. We sold charging handles to raise money. We raised, with donations like $125,000 thereabouts. It was around. This might not be the exact number, but it was around 120 grand.
So 6 figures you guys raised.
Right, and we spent money on buses to transport people in from around the state. We took out web advertising that was targeted to people that might be interested in Defend
the Second, is that what it's called?
Defend the Second was the name of the rally.
Second, and by all accounts, they think it's probably one of the biggest two-way rallies that's ever been held on the West Coast. There was 4,200 to 5,000 people, 4,200 to 5,000 people that showed up on a weekend. And the battle ensued after that. There was all kinds of legislative maneuvers taken by both the Democratic majority that wanted to pass the laws and the Republican minority. And they were able to get the bill shelved, even though there's a super majority for Democrats in our state.
They got scared.
Yeah, they did. They were getting thousands of emails a day. Some of the key senators who were going to vote on the bill in committee.
They defended their job.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
there was a hearing that they scheduled on a Thursday. They scheduled a hearing for, people for or against the bill to speak the following Tuesday at 7:30 in the morning. So we showed up, drove 2.5 hours to be there, and I was able to testify and say what I had to say, among many other people. And it was an awesome turnout. I would say there was at least 600 people that were opposing. Yeah, and there was maybe 50 that were for the bill.
Good.
And they let one person talk for, one person talk against, back and forth. When the 50 people were done, the hearing was over. That's the kind of shenanigans they play.
Yeah, it wasn't reflective of. There was 800 people there, perhaps maybe 600
to 800 people, I would guess,
that were against the bill. There was like 50 Moms Demand Action people from Bloomberg's group that showed up, but they give them equal time, basically.
Sure.
Long story short, though, I mean, I'm not going to directly attribute the bills dying to us per se, but people got active in the state, and I think there was a lot of momentum around the rally because people felt encouraged to see, hey, there's this many people that care enough about this issue to show up on a Saturday when they could be watching, the NCAA tournament or whatever. It was a big event, and the follow-on action pressuring their legislators, even though the legislators are generally anti-gun, the majority is, they were able to generate enough pressure to where they shelved all the gun bills during this hearing or this session. We'll see what happens next session, but that was something we were able to do and support the community. We feel like it's very important for firearms manufacturers especially to be active and be supportive of their constituency, which depends on the Second Amendment to own and keep and bear arms.
I think that's been a big issue in this genre of our society, is that gun manufacturers have walked fences, and it's like without that Second Amendment, none of what we do, what I do, would exist. So you have to put your money where your mouth is. We do in our state.
Yeah.
I think it again illustrates something I alluded to with you guys a minute ago. Little things make big differences. You can say we didn't get the bill shelved, but I would probably say it would have passed without you. So you didn't do it alone, but thousands of people heard about it.
Yeah.
Right. That's badass. Which is, I think should be motivating for the general public because we see, look at social media, all the folks that just complain. They complain about what local government does. My tact, I always tell people, is what are you doing about it?
Right.
Yeah.
What's up? What are you up to? What can I do?
Right.
You
You can do a lot.
you
Yeah.
can. Yeah. If you decide to.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's a great point, and that's what I think we wanted to get out of Raleigh. The bigger picture is that if you want to protect your rights, you have to be involved, and you can't depend on somebody else to do it for you. Nobody else is going to do it for you. They are going to remove your Second Amendment rights at some point in your lifetime, I would say, unless you're really active in protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that don't care about it, or they don't believe in it because maybe they've been a victim of gun violence, or maybe they are swayed by perceptions pushed in the media, or who knows what it is. But there's always going to be people that want to reduce your level of liberty per se, and you have to stand up for yourself and try to protect that.
The interesting thing, you and I talked about this on our podcast, is that, and this was my experience in politics, the people trying to reduce our liberty feel like they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like these people are evil. They think they're doing the right thing based on their intellect, based on their life experience, based on what the totality of their life is. And you can't combat that with it's my right. You have to have either a compelling argument, or like you guys did, overwhelming support of opposition.
Right.
Where it's like, well, man.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you have both. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
No, you're 100% right. Not everybody's going to agree with you. In fact, statistically, about 50% of people disagree with you on this issue. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So that's pretty daunting odds. Your odds are just as good in your favor for protecting your rights, I guess. But you got to stay vigilant, and you can't just sit on your laurels. You in the bare minimum need a vote and try to at least sway the people in your sphere of influence to kind of see your perspective and do that in a not a kind of way. Like you said, people don't respond to that very well usually, and typically you can get pretty far with people if you really know kind of the context of the Second Amendment. And I think it's important to, I'm kind of like a Second Amendment truist, if you will, in that I believe that it's there to so that people can protect themselves against tyranny in a last ditch type situation, right? I mean, that's why I think we have that right.
That's exactly why it's there.
And so when you kind of break that down for people that are maybe anti-gun, they can kind of relate to that if you frame the argument correctly, where it's like, hey, if Donald Trump, was going to do X, Y, Z, something that would be really tyrannical or bad for maybe people that are LGBTQ or whatever, and you kind of frame it in that light, and you're like, hey, this is a way for us to protect ourselves against tyranny, so they can at least appreciate that perspective and see where you're coming from.
Yeah, the argument of I don't like it, or it scares me, or it's dangerous doesn't really invalidate the reason it's there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I dig it. You guys make a superior product. We've talked about it numerous times throughout our visit here today. It's not for everybody.
No.
Not everybody in the world is going to buy your rifle, and that's okay.
Yeah, one point I'd like to make beyond those points, because there are other manufacturers who hold tight tolerances and assemble with care and test for other weapons, but engineering, right? I mean, we have several feature sets that aren't standard on an AR-15, and so you start with an improved design. I mean, you execute it well, and you've got extra feature sets built into a weapon that aren't on other guns. And so it's not just a well-executed, great fit and finish, accurate rifle, but it has those extra feature sets as well.
Right.
So in addition to being a well-built, nice-looking, pretty gun, it's got shit other guns don't have.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you guys designed it, you patented it, it's your stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Right, I think that's the difference maker for me as well. And again, the gun isn't for everyone. If you're a guy who wants to shoot steel on the weekends and not spend $2,500 on a rifle because that's not in your budget, then it's probably not for you, and that's perfectly fine. And there's other guys that they just want to have like a really well built rifle that has really unique ambidextrous controls, basically, and some neat features that are available elsewhere, which like the Raptor and the Talon, but in a complete rifle system that works really well. So I really agree with Josh. I mean, that's kind of, if I was going to pitch somebody on why they should buy a rifle, you know, beyond just the care and manufacturing and quality of manufacturing, you got some neat feature sets in there for sure.
I'll tell these guys, and you guys understand it, but if dudes tell me or ask me, we teach a lot of pistol classes, we teach rifle classes, and guys will say, I tried your gun, I want it. Easy, here's the website. Or a pistol only class, I want to come to one of your rifle classes, what should I get? And I'll ask, well, are you like a gun guy that likes to fill your walls full of guns? Or are you the guy that just wants a gun? And like, I'd rather have, you know, give me my Langdon Beretta and one of your rifles and I'm golden. In reality, I own lots more guns than that, but like I'd be okay with that. But we just had one of our students and good friends of mine, he ordered one last week from you. And he said, I'm not going to buy 5 or 10. I want one that's dynamite. I'm going to buy whatever optic is awesome and I'll put that on there and that's my gun.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well then, you know, call these dudes. If you got $500, that isn't the way that's going to go down. But he's like, no, I'll have it forever. I want that one. Call them. He did. And you guys, I think he got a hold of you through email because he wanted certain parts a certain way or certain colors, and you made it happen, and it'll be shipped out whenever you're done making it. Like, that's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you've been in the AR game for even a couple of years, you probably have gone through the process of building your own, which is super fun. I think that's one of the popular reasons the AR-15 is so popular.
Yeah.
People enjoy that aspect of it. And you've probably gone through an iteration of changing out gear on a rifle you've bought and changing different parts, whether it be a charging handle, a safety, an end plate, M-lock attachment, whatever.
Yeah.
That's half the fun. But yeah, if I was going to tell somebody, you know, if you're buying one AR-15, you know, you want to make sure it's a really good one that's going to last a while and be something that you're going to really enjoy shooting. And I think that the Model 1 is good in the sense that, you know, you have those ambi controls that are great. It's super smooth shooting, good recoil impulse, it's really accurate. And, you know, if you buy a Model 1, you know, we're going to stand behind that product as long as we're in business to the consumer,
Which,
to the retail market.
based on what I see here, will be a long time because you guys have all these long-term plans that you're implementing. So.
Yeah, we really don't want to be flashes in the pan, I don't think. I mean, Josh has been working at this for over 20 years of his life, and me for, you know, over 3 now, which isn't super long, but, you know, we want to be around. And the thing that I get most out of working here is when you talk to consumers that have your products, you know, and they tell you they've got 10 Raptor charging handles and they just love them and they think they're great. You know, that's the real rewarding part about what you do is when people really appreciate the gear. Like, I'm a gun guy and I'm into bolt guns and 22s, and when I have a really nice one, you know, I would really love to tell the people that, you know, on shoots or CZ or whoever, like, hey, it's a hell of a rifle, you know, I really like it. So that's what I get out of it and what I really enjoy about it.
When you're talking about one rifle, I can't remember if it was Davy Crockett or Daniel Boone, but one of them said, beware of the man with one rifle. He likely knows how to use it.
It's true, man.
I love that slogan. So
John Bianchi said, one gun, one holster all the time. He was talking to, like, cops.
Right.
Because he's saying, like, have that one, same gun, same holster. And how many of us, I mean, I personally have a plethora of ARs, but in reality, unless I'm going to go shoot like some long range stuff, that one gun comes off the wall and that's it, right?
you probably carry the same gun every day.
Yeah, and I know how to use it, and it's going to work well. So buy one that works well. And I don't know if you guys aren't going to like this, but I don't clean my Radian that much because that's just what I do, and it's freaking been bulletproof. Thousands of rounds.
Well, who likes to clean a rifle? Nobody does.
I
But
clean
I don't know. I mean, I got a buddy that if he goes and shoots 2 rounds, that comes.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I don't clean mine either.
Well, we had a guy. I'm trying to think. It was Ryan. He shot 1,200 rounds suppressed at a competition, and didn't have a single malfunction. You know.
For you guys who don't understand why that's important, when it's suppressed, all that gas is ending up back into the gun.
I mean, there was so much carbon in his trigger pack and everything. It was unreal. But the thing kept running.
Way to go. Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys letting me stop out. I'm looking forward to some drinks and dinner later. How do people find you guys?
I think we're on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and we have a website. So
RadianWeapons.com.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, you're Radian Weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Radian_Weapons or just Radian
Just one
Weapons?
word, yeah.
Radian Weapons.
Yeah.
Do you use Twitter? Who uses Twitter?
I have one. I don't put it.
I put
go in
stuff
there to
up
see what
there, but I
Donald's
don't even know.
talking about,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Donald
yeah,
tweets. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, you can email them. Appreciate you watching the video. I'll add one more thing here. If you're going to buy their parts, buy them from a reputable dealer and buy them from them directly, because people pirate this stuff and it may look the same, but it's not the same, which means that you've actually told me that you've had people call you to warranty stuff and it's not yours. It's some copied garbage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, usually what you'll see is the determining factor is. So the way to spot a forged or counterfeit Raptor is the insides, or these handles here, will have a little bit thinner walls. The roll pins, you will notice, are extremely, they're not rolled very much. There's like one roll. And the material is like 60-61 and bends real easy. And
So you could like...
Yeah. Some people, though, don't have an eye for quality, and they're like, this looks just the same to me. So anyway, to us it's obvious, but yeah.
Yeah, the other thing too is we sell the Raptor to quite a few different companies, and we co-brand it for them because it's an OEM product. And
our patent numbers are listed on every one of them, though, whether it's sold with PWS's branding on it or ours.
Do the counterfeits have your patent numbers?
No.
That did happen once, and they got sued, and
so somebody literally just recopied the patent.
They even had our name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
buyer beware. Don't try to save $20 on something that you intend to work well.
Right. What we've seen too is people can sometimes cause pretty considerable damage to their guns. These things come apart while they're
I
firing.
didn't even think about that.
So, buy the
Screw up an
real
upper.
thing, support American companies. We really appreciate it.
That's the other part. I tell that to guys all the time, dudes. That we started to talk about this on the assembly floor. Is guys are always looking for, well, that's expensive. I say this to our viewers all the time. There was a butcher shop in my town growing up. It's still there, old time butcher shop. You know, they had like the whole half slabs of beef they'd be whacking shit off of. And there's a sign over the counter that says, good meat's not cheap, cheap meat's not good. And that was like, you know, that was the thing.
It's true.
It is.
Yeah.
Like you want Walmart ground chuck, head down the road and buy it up. That ain't what we have here.
Right.
You know, that ain't what we have here. And this ain't ground chuck up in here.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. As usual, remember to like, subscribe, share, and all that jazz. Until next time, remember, God is in control.
Visit our website, CarryTrainer.com, for information about classes held throughout the U.S., CarryTrainer apparel, and upcoming projects. You can also email us at training@CarryTrainer.com for information about setting up your own private course or speaking engagement. Training@CarryTrainer.com or CarryTrainer.com.